this is Nick and Mark, and we're here talking about the question that was brought up in the Facebook group, which was how do you turn site visitors into leads? That seemed to be the most popular thing in the poll. So we decided to make a video kind of discussing that, and then getting prepped for that, we started talking, and I brought up to Mark, I said, hey, I don't know that we can even start talking about building a funnel per se until we've talked about customer avatars. And if you're not familiar with customer avatars at all, it's just a digital marketing kind of standard, a way to take and dig into what your customer needs, who they are, to better understand what kind of product you can give them to solve a problem for them. So we decided to kind of talk about that first. Once we kind of establish that, then we can get into the answer of the question of what it takes to turn a visitor into a lead. So we'll go ahead and start on the customer avatar first.
Yeah, so with the customer avatar, definitely that's exactly what you have to do, is you have to talk specifically to one person per product or service that you have, and make sure your message hits home and directly registers with that person, because people are getting blasted with ads continuously today. And unless your message and your marketing is ultra specific, people probably aren't going to be that interested. Your message isn't going to resonate with them. So building out your customer avatar first and really deciding on who your audience is and who your dream customer is that you're going to be able to serve, that's a great place to start to make sure that your advertising and your message connects with the right person. So let's go ahead and take a look at this customer avatar sheet.
Yeah, because like we were saying, otherwise, you end up with thousands of people, potentially thousands of people coming to your website. But if they're not getting there prepped at all as to what you do and what you offer, if they're not the right kind of people, then you got 5,000 people that are basically walking in the door and then walking right back out. So this customer avatar kind of makes everything you do as far as your outreach and marketing make more sense and get the kind of people that you want at the door. And that's a huge step in getting visitors converted into leads. So we'll start. Go ahead.
So what are some of the common goals and values and sources of information that we can cover on our customer avatar, Nick?
One of the main things is the demographic and goals and values together. Like on this sheet, I think those two make the most sense and interlock the most together, because once you start to determine your demographic and the age and the gender, marital status, that kind of thing, a lot of the goals and values come into a clearer picture just from doing that. So I think when you work on one of those, you work on the other one at the same time. We were using an example of a pizza shop in a college town. So you got a pizza shop in a college town, and then you also have a pizzeria in a rural kind of country setting. Your demographic, they're both pizza shops, both could be serving the same exact product, but the way that they go about getting it out to people is going to be completely different based on the fact that they have wildly different customer avatars. In the college town, you're going to have cheaper prices. You're probably going to aim for a younger crowd, kind of more of an upbeat atmosphere, where in a rural, more country atmosphere, you'll most likely have families, older people, and they're going to probably spend more money as they're buying for more people, or you'll have sports teams coming in, kids' sports teams coming in, that kind of thing. So knowing that information, sitting down and figuring that out before you even start any kind of marketing or any kind of advertising or getting anybody to your site, you can kind of mold that around those things and know exactly what that customer is looking for before you even put pen to paper on your marketing.
And finding out exactly who your customer is essential for creating your UVP, or unique value proposition. In Nick's pizza example, a company like Domino's Pizza, huge North American pizza chain, their recipe for success was their unique value proposition, their advertising. They went out initially and said, hot and fast, and it's ready in 30 minutes or it's free. So they're pushing the fact that you get really probably average pizza at the time, but it was hot and fast and pretty low cost, and if you didn't get it within the 30 minutes, you get it for free. So they knew their market were, young college students and people that had midnight munchies and really wanted some eats. And so having that UVP directly, associated with their target market and who their customer avatars are, they're able to deliver exactly what they're looking for. Nothing about pizza being tasty or being delicious or made with healthy, fresh ingredients or anything. because a college student isn't going to care about that type of stuff. They want it fast, they want it cheap, and they want to get it right away. So knowing exactly who your customer avatar is and what market you're serving allows you to kind of create your UVP so that you can stand out and differentiate yourself between your competition. Essentially tell people in one blast or a sentence why they should use you, like, what's the problem that you're solving for them and what makes you different or better than your competition.
Yeah, exactly. And like you said, like a pizzeria in a college town is going to go for, $1.99 slice in a soda, whereas one in more of a family area is going to maybe have specials on bulk, parties that if they know that sports families with kids and everything are coming in with a whole giant group of people, they're gonna push that as one of their things. It wouldn't make sense for them to do $1.99 slice in a soda. It may make sense, but it's not going to be the main market that they're going for. But just that little bit of foresight that a lot of businesses don't do before they start marketing is the difference between just peddling and peddling and peddling and not getting anywhere, or really pushing it and taking that specific marketing towards that specific problem you're going to solve for the customer. And in a college town, $1.99 quick meal is the way to go. So you have that, and it almost seems common sense, but it's something that a lot of businesses don't spend the time on. And it's not to say that by not doing it, you're still not going to get customers. You are, but it just makes a ton more sense in your marketing value, what you spend to what you get back, if you take this kind of preemptive look at who you're going for. So we're talking about that, and challenges and pain points on the other end, to the right there, is another whole thing. And if you're a pizza shop in a college town, the challenges you're going to get through, for a customer is you may not be the only game in town. You may be one of 10. Your pain point may be, if you're offering something that's too expensive, a pain point for the customer is that they don't have the money for that. So you also have to look at not only what their goals are to fill their stomach, you got to look at what's keeping them from coming into your establishment and spending that money. What are the challenges that they have, and what are the pain points for that?
And that's the key to quality advertising is focusing in on those pain points and really drilling down to them for the customers, so that you're just needling and hammering those pain points continuously to make it so you're painting this bleak picture of the before state of where the customer's sitting currently, where they have a problem or a bad situation and they need either your product or service. And essentially what you're doing is you're articulating that journey from this bad, dark place over to the solution where everything's sunshine and rainbows and happiness. So you're moving them from the before state of badness to the after state of where everything's good and happy and their problems are fixed and you've presented them solutions. And so that's all marketing is how you properly articulate that journey so that your message resonates with your customers, so that they read it and see it and go, oh, wow, yeah, that's exactly what I'm looking for right now. That's perfect. This is totally going to make me happy and solve this issue that I have. That's how you articulate that journey and make sure that it connects. So focusing on the pain point and then delivering the solution, getting them from A to B is what it's all about. And you can only really effectively do that if you have a very, very specific customer avatar and you naturally know who your audience is and you intimately know who they are and the problems they're facing. If you don't really have any market research or any information on who you're serving and the problems that you're fixing for them, it's going to be just blandvertising where you're sending out stuff that's just vanilla and doesn't resonate with anyone. So that's really why you need to focus on this customer avatar sheet, fill out the goals and values, dig into sources of information, find out what kind of books and magazines they read, what blogs do they follow, what gurus and leaders within your industry do they look up to, because you can target those communities. You can bring the people that are parts of those Facebook groups and parts of, that follow those gurus and leaders on Facebook and all different, avenues of social media. You can target those audiences. And if that's who your audience is and that's who are most interested in your products and services, it's so beneficial to know that and plunk your advertising or plunk your SEO, optimized content right in front of that audience. So customer avatar, massively important and crucial to ensure that A, your message is getting to the right people, B, that it's not blandvertising and it's not completely vanilla and boring, and see that, you know, your UVP is something that really grabs them and speaks to them.
Yeah, and two things along with that is like sources of information and stuff. As you start to dig a little bit deeper, I mean, the use myself as a quick example of the top half of the sheet. I'm a homeowner. I'm in my late 30s. I'm a male. I'm leader of the family type thing with a house. So say if I have a landscape problem, I have crabgrass in my yard, and I want someone to come treat it. My goal is to have a nice green lawn with no crabgrass. So that's my goal right off the bat. So a landscape company is going to know that. One of my pain points is I have crabgrass. I still have it. So you're solving my pain point by bringing in whatever chemical is going to get rid of the crabgrass and help my other grass to grow. But I don't necessarily, in this kind of thing what you were touching on, I don't need to know what you're putting on my lawn unless I have some kind of specific, like I have pets or I need to know it's organic or whatever. Right. Besides that, my pain point, I just want my lawn crabgrass free because I have to mow it and it's a pain in the ass to mow when it's full of crabgrass. So just by knowing what you're doing enough to put your product out, you don't have to explain what your product is exactly. You don't have to get into the nitty gritty of it, but you need to be able to solve those goals or reach those goals and solve the challenges of pain points. But the lower half of that sheet, I think, is some of that stuff you get to the point where you're like, well, I don't really need to do this. Like, I don't really think, like, I don't need to figure out the channels and where, it becomes almost like you don't want to dig that deep into it, or you can't. You say, this doesn't apply to my customers. This part doesn't apply to my customers. I guarantee you, if you fill out that entire sheet and you really take the time to think about it, you'll come up with an answer for everything on that sheet. And it'll make a lot more sense, and you'll have a lot better of a view once you do that.
And as you mentioned before, it's a good idea to create multiple customer avatars for different products and services and target markets, right?
Exactly what I was going to say. I would say you don't ever have to have just one customer avatar. If you can take and kind of look and just sit and think about the customers that you currently have and maybe divide a few of those into different types, then you can sit down with each of those types and start to put together an avatar for each of those. And a lot of times you'll find some of your products maybe not reaching their potential or not giving the customer exactly what they want. Once you really sit down and figure out the customer avatar, you may see that there's needs and goals there that you hadn't even thought of, and you can begin to kind of warp your products and mold them to what you want them to be. So it's not even twofold just to understand your customers better. It's going to help you get to your products a little more refined and understand a little more what you're offering compared to what they're looking for.
Yeah, so I think that basically sums up the importance of the customer avatar and how it's the very, very first step and, one of the most crucial steps to the beginning of your marketing funnel. You can't attract quality leads and bring people into your website that you're going to be able to form a lasting business relationship with if you're not marketing to the right people and, missing your target audience.
Right.
So I hope this video was helpful, guys. This is the first video in the series of, turning your site visitors to leads, and this is the customer avatar section. So we'll go ahead and see you guys on the next video where we go into more detail on how to get those visitors converted over into leads with different middle of funnel, kind of even top of funnel attraction and awareness techniques. So we'll see you on the next one.